So you can't have a yard sale in a garage?
I think, what? You can have the spirit.
What?
Oh, suddenly
Answer
this guy
already.
doesn't know what he's talking about anymore. Can't answer the hard questions. Hello and welcome to Is This Good? The show where we boldly, conclusively, and scientifically decide what things in this big wide world are good. I'm Ed Austin, and with me, as always, is production powerhouse Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi, JD. Thanks for coming. And today's guest is a legendary and pioneering comedy on the internet guy. You know him from hundreds of episodes of College Humor's Jake and Amir. Shit, I guess 50% chance it's either Jake or Amir. JD, who do you think it is? If you had to guess.
I mean, we've already had Amir on, so I'm going to have to go Jake.
Okay, well, keep listening. You also know him from podcasts like If I Were You, Buckets, and now Segments. This guy likes podcasts so much he even started an entire company just to make them. He also owns a vanity license plate, but in a cool way. It's the head chum at HeadGum, Amir Blumenfeld. Welcome back to Is This Good?
Nice. The head chum at HeadGum.
Have you ever said that?
Not out loud.
Yeah. Do you think you can work it into the next stock call? What are those called? Quarterly report?
Like a board meeting?
Board meeting, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I've said before the gum head at HeadGum or something like that. The head of gum at HeadGum.
Do you have
Something
a gumball
like that.
machine there?
We
in
don't.
the office?
I think the New York office has a gumball machine.
What, now you have two offices?
Yeah, we have a studio in New York now because there's a bunch of podcasters that live out there for some reason.
Oh, yeah. David Cross
no
is not
sense.
getting on a flight to record his podcast in L.A.
Only if Jason Bateman's waiting on the other side of that flight.
So, Amir, I got to tell you something very exciting.
Okay.
Did you know that you were the first ever guest on this podcast?
Is that true?
Yeah, well, okay. One caveat.
The No Dunks guys don't count?
The No Dunks guys don't count. Yeah. So you were the very first guest on the show, which was, I just looked it up, almost 2 years to the date, October 26, 2022.
Wow.
Damn. All right. Every October. Could be a fun tradition.
Well, we missed one October, but maybe we'll do two this October. Is that cool with you?
To make up for it.
Just catch up.
At the very least, in June.
So what have you been up to the last 2 years?
Gosh. There was a wedding in there. I got married last October. Oh my God. Everything in my life happens on Octobers.
Is your birthday in October?
It's not.
Oh, mine is.
Believe it. Oh, really?
Yeah.
What October? What's your birthday?
2-2.
10/2/2.
10-2-2.
That's not bad. That's
8-1.
a fun one. That's good. That's a good birthday.
Yeah, so it's very exciting. And now the other caveat is it was on this podcast, but this podcast did not yet have its own feed. So this might, to you, if it feels different to you, that might be because it's like the first time you're like really on the podcast.
That's correct. That's
with
correct.
its own thumbnail.
Well, now I could be the last guest.
Yeah, I mean,
No
JD's
caveats
tired.
either.
Yeah, so if you want to leave, this will work out for him. I have a very dumb question for you, but you're
great.
kind of the perfect person to answer it. So,
Love it.
speaking of my No Dunks friends and former colleagues,
Yeah.
this is like half a joke. It started as a joke, but I kind of mean it seriously now. I always complain to them that I'm like, I wish this podcast was just about something like you guys do, like just basketball or below
a
deck.
theme.
Yeah, because every week you know what you're talking about, right? Whereas this show, it's just a blank Google document, Amir, and I got to come up with the topics and which segments we're doing.
Yeah.
And you, I think, are the perfect person to answer this because you do a podcast about basketball called Buckets, but you also do, podcasts like Segments where you got to come up with the segments every week.
Yeah.
So which is harder?
Oh, I thought you were going to give me the two options. But yeah,
Those are the two options.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to talk about something you love, like basketball, than to come up with 3 ideas from scratch, for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you,
But I
JD.
think
Can you tell the guys when they come in tomorrow?
But it might be
100%. I'll tell them.
It might be more entertaining for the listener to listen to segments because if you don't like basketball, it's so niche that you just you lose a large percentage of your audience.
Okay, but the downside maybe to the basketball one is you then have to know what you're talking about, right? Whereas
Yeah, that's the problem. you do have to have an area of expertise.
Right.
And I only have basketball, and some people don't even have that. So, like, at that point, what are you spending 7 hours a day doing?
Well, I guess...
talk to my friends that don't like sports. I'm like, what are you doing from 5 to midnight? Like, seriously, I don't understand. It's 5 p.m. I turn on a football game or baseball game or basketball game. You don't like that stuff. So I ask you, not you specifically, my friend, what are you doing? He's like, I don't know. Like, I guess I watch like Netflix or something. Like, what is there? What are you watching? You're binging a show I've never heard of?
Just a solid 6 straight hours of YouTube shorts. You know me. I love
It frees
watching...
up so much time. I don't know if the loving sports is a curse or a blessing. It does help pass the time a lot, but it also like consumes literally like a third of your day.
Because then what are you surfing the web looking for fantasy stuff like that?
Yes,
Like,
it's all
deep in the
inclusive.
game?
It's all encompassing. I'm going on a trip this weekend to watch a football game. That
Okay.
wouldn't exist if me and my brothers didn't like football.
So are you confused when other people travel? Much like you're confused as to what they do between 5 and 11 if they don't watch sports?
Well, I get that because there's food to eat and other genres of tourism. But
Yes.
yeah, Sunday is a good example. I love football. What do y'all do on Sunday from 10 to 10?
Well, what do you do in February to September? I mean,
Probably watching
Basketball.
another sport. Yeah,
Yeah,
another sport
yeah,
for sure.
that's true.
Yeah, August is tough. I'll tell you. I'll give you that. August is tough. The Olympics helped.
We should be having you on in August because you're really not doing anything then.
I'm open, and the days are long.
Okay, well then speaking about how you're busy watching sports, I wanted to know because I noticed that your wife, Avital, who's been on this show before, more recently than you, I apologize for that,
Accept your apology.
she is gone. So I want to know, how feral do you get when left alone?
It's pretty bad, but not like full on, like styrofoams of Chinese food left out and about bad.
Okay.
I focus more on foods that she doesn't like that I do. So that it's like, oh, let me order from this restaurant that she doesn't appreciate that I do. That's helpful. But I don't go completely ham. And I'm pretty good with my sleep schedule. It doesn't like deviate too far to the point where I'm like staying up all night either.
Okay, so you don't eat wings for all 3 meals?
Exactly. I'm not a complete psychopath when left alone. Yeah.
You're like, sorry, I'm training to be on hot ones. I don't know what you want me to do.
Fortunately, I don't like spicy food, so she doesn't have to worry about any of that.
Okay, so you're watching a lot of baseball playoffs, Thursday night football, things of this nature.
Yeah, it's funny. I was like, because she makes fun of me that I don't watch television. Like, I watch it with her when she's watching. But I'm never just like, let me turn on Netflix. And I'm like, you know what? She's gone for 2 weeks. I hear good things about the Menendez brothers show. I'm going to finally watch television. And I go to Netflix and it's like, your billing information is outdated. I'm like, oh, well, forget it. I'm not watching it.
All right, stay tuned. I'm going to give you my password to Netflix. It is also my dad's password to Netflix, but I think there's one
fine.
more roster spot open, and you can have it.
Have you seen the Menendez brothers show?
I haven't, but I just watched. What did I just watch on? I just watched that Vince McMahon documentary.
Yeah, my buddy
Filled in
watched
a
that.
lot of blanks for me. I have to be honest, as someone that
Turns out
does
it's not so good.
No, I mean,
I couldn't believe it.
there's probably one of my favorite parts in a documentary, and if you've seen it, in the last episode when they get to the more recent sexual scandals, where they have like one of his lieutenants on from the WWE. He's like an executive producer there, and he's like, they're like, oh, so you watched some of the advanced copies of this documentary. What'd you think? And he's like, it's incredibly biased. I hated it. You didn't tell the story of the real Vince, the nice Vince. The Vince, he's a cool guy. He helped my wife out when she had cancer. So fuck you guys. And then just a chyron comes on. It says 2 weeks later, and then it's just like Vince McMahon accused of defecating on employee.
Human trafficking. The FBI is indicting him.
Yeah, so not a great guy, but as someone that watched wrestling from like in the late 80s, I never fully understood, why does everyone talk about Vince McMahon? Because Vince McMahon wasn't really involved when I was watching wrestling. But then I learned about the Attitude Era, and that really cleared up a lot for me. But who cares? That's just Vince McMahon. Go watch it. Everyone, go to the show notes for my Netflix password. Some very brief housekeeping, Amir. If you want to support the show, not you specifically, but anyone else, and they want to get exclusive content, you can go to patreon.com/isthisgood. And you can also send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. And subscribe on YouTube. Amir, you've been on the show before, but you know the premise is very simple. I give you a topic. You tell me if it's good. Here we go.
Okay.
David S. asks, seated happy hours, are they good? He says, I work at the University of Missouri, and for the past 2 years, our department has held a happy hour for a faculty member that was leaving their position. My colleague Jake has gotten very aggravated both times because the happy hours were held at a restaurant with a reservation, meaning the group of 12 to 15 people would all be sitting at one huge dining table. He thinks happy hours should be held exclusively in bars or restaurant bar areas. Dining rooms are for dining. To be clear, I agree with Jake, but the fact that this keeps happening suggests that someone thinks it's good. What say you? Again, that's from David S. At the University of Missouri. He should be pretty easy to find. He's had 2 colleagues in the last couple of years that have left for other positions. So thanks, David S. Amir, first of all, I thought this question would make you comfortable because it mentions a guy named Jake. So that's positive.
I'm at ease for sure. Although this Jake left, right?
No, this Jake didn't leave.
This
He's
the one
just
that's
angry about
the
happy hours where people are sitting. And as we said, you also own a company, so perhaps you've had a happy hour and perhaps you have experience with this. But what say you, are seated happy hours good?
Yeah, it seems like those are 2 different things. There's the team dinner and then there's the happy hour. But usually happy hours don't include a full sit-down meal. That's not a happy hour. That's a meal.
That's true, because you got to finish the meal in 1 hour. The clock is a ticking.
Happy hour is the pre-dinner hang sesh before the food.
Right.
I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've never had a happy hour dinner.
No, but I think that what he's saying is like, maybe this guy's just nervous that we're going to get there, the bar's going to be busy. I'd rather just reserve a table and know that everyone has somewhere to sit than just leave it willy-nilly. But this David S. and Jake are both correct that this is the worst way to do a happy hour because, for the main reason, is you're stuck next to 1 or 2 people if you're sitting at a table. And the whole point of a happy hour is to mingle and move around and connect with all your various colleagues, I would say.
Yeah, it's especially hard if you get stuck at the end. Like that way you're like boxed in. If you're in the corner and you're sitting next to somebody you don't necessarily talk to a lot, then it's like you have small talk and then you're just still there. Then you talk more, you're still there. There's no getting out. You're boxed in.
You're boxed in. And that's why, I mean, do you have a good strategy for exiting a conversation during a more of a happy hour cocktail style thing? Because you can get trapped there too.
Yeah. There's a lot of easy outs when you're walking and talking, though. When you're standing, you can say, I got to go to the bathroom. Oh, look, there's more food over there. Oh, have you tried this? Oh, I'm going to get a drink. Easy ins and outs of any conversation. When you're seated at a dinner, can only use the bathroom thing once.
And you still have to come back to your seat, though. That's the problem.
Yeah, you got to pretend to wash your hands just in case they're watching you. I didn't actually use the restroom. I just went there to look at my phone to get away from this conversation for 5 minutes. Now you're fucking staring at my wrists to make sure that I wash my hands. I assure you it's fine.
Has anyone ever said to you in conversation, because normally I feel like I'm the one leaving the conversation, but sometimes someone's leaving my conversation and I know that I shouldn't, but I feel offended every single time. And they're like, oh, I got to go to the bathroom. Do you ever look over their shoulder and see if they're actually going?
No, I tend to be the one that cuts things off first. And if somebody else should leave, I'm sort of just resigned and happy that they're out of there. Because it's they did the hard part for me. I'm never offended. I'm not such an extrovert where I'm I need to keep talking to someone, and I love to have long, detailed conversations about anything, really.
Yeah, but then what if you don't find another partner right away? You know what I mean? Now you're sort of wandering awkwardly. People are like, why is our boss wandering? Does he not know anyone's name?
Yeah, and the answer is yes. I don't know anybody's name.
Anyone's name.
Zero name. And I have to reintroduce myself, even though we've been working together for 3 years.
Could you say that a benefit of the table is it's the only chance of having a group conversation?
Maybe if it's a fully circular table, but a rectangular table, not so much.
Well, but you could have a 4-person, 5-person conversation. I've rarely seen a cocktail style thing where 4 people are standing around. I guess
You could do a foursome.
You could do a foursome.
Against like one of those tables without chairs.
Yeah, like a cocktail table. I guess those
Yeah.
those are for cocktails. So
Exactly.
that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
JD, do you have any desire to sit down at a happy hour? You're avoiding people, so this is probably your worst nightmare.
Yeah, not my thing for sure. I will say though, if it's a work function and alcohol is involved, it is a good way to force people to eat. You know what I mean? Like,
Otherwise,
you
we
know,
drink without the food.
yeah, it could be, because if it's a work function or if it's a bar scenario and it's just like a free for all in terms of me walking around, I am not eating a thing, and I'm drinking like very, very fast.
And I'm drinking more.
Yeah, exactly. But you slap down some nachos and wings, it's easier to eat. But that would be the only argument in favor of this. Like, Amir is exactly right. There's two different things. There's the team dinner, and this person didn't even mention if there was food involved. So if there's no food, you should be just mingling.
Oh, that's a sad ass table. There's nothing on the table.
It's just drinks. It's a happy
And they got
hour.
to do the servers got to come and collect all the plates and the cutlery that's already been put down.
The worst. The
Yeah,
worst.
It is. It's
I
tragic.
saw you guys last in Vegas during a show.
Yeah.
You guys did a live show. And the post-show hang, it kind of had a happy hour vibe. It was a standing and mingling situation.
Yeah,
Did you guys
absolutely.
mingle with the fans, or did you guys stand next to each other and let the fans come to you?
I think we mingled with the fans.
Oh
JD.
yeah,
Did you?
I always
Were you
work.
proactive?
Yeah, I work the room if I can.
Walk around, say, introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm the last person they want to talk to though. But so I have to foist myself on people,
And you will.
and I will. I have no shame in that.
Well, Amir, not to turn it around on you, but I noticed that you and Jake are doing live shows now for segments.
Yes.
Do you do like a meet and greet after that, or is it?
Not an official one, but if people stick around, which they're wont to do, we'll say hi to folks.
Okay. So that must be, then you're using the going to the bathroom excuse a lot because people want to talk to you. It's that kind of
Well, in
relationship.
that
where they've-
situation, it's so extreme where it's like 50 people wanting to talk to 2 people. Then it's like you're constantly getting pulled.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I'm less like, hey, I got to go, but more like, hey, can I get a picture? Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Oh, what about me? Yeah. Hey, how's it going? So I'm like, just like trying to placate everybody equally. But that's a very extreme example.
No, but that's a great point because the relationship is uneven there. Like if it's a work happy hour, everyone's in theory on the same level. But if it's fan and host, then you can very easily say, oh, it was so great talking to you, but I got to go talk to these other people because they'll understand that's what everyone is there to do.
Yeah. People are very cordial.
So that's an easy situation. So if you feel like awkward in life, just become sort of famous, and then this won't be that much of a problem for you. So.
Yeah, then all of your life is a meet and greet.
That's right. You know what? I just saw, what was it? Oh, Steve Ballmer, because they're launching this new arena in Los Angeles. They were asking, he was doing, maybe it was 60 Minutes or something. I just saw a clip and they were like, has making all this money changed you? And he said that the main thing that changes you is being catered to. And like when you're the CEO of Microsoft, everyone that works at the company and many people that don't work at the company that want your business or want to be on your good side just cater to you. So you kind of lose that ability to know when someone's, being truthful or blowing smoke up your ass. Has that happened to you at your level, Amir? I'm
not rich enough, no. People are, they don't
Too
have
honest.
to be nice to me. Yeah. If anything, they're rude to me.
Well,
they're negging me because I'm from the YouTube generation, and that's how the commenters fucking get off. That's how they show love to you. This is depressing. You guys are lazy. Why are you doing this? This isn't funny anymore.
This is hurting
Hey,
my
aren't you that
ears.
guy? You're old now. Oh my God. We're all so old.
Watching your podcast reminds me of my age and that I will die
Exactly.
soon. Thank you.
I
very
watched
much
you
for
when
that.
I was 9, and now I'm a lawyer. God, I'm old. But
Yeah, I get
the
that
weird thing
a
is
lot
it's a
too.
14-year-old lawyer. Like, okay, so congratulations, I guess, but that doesn't mean you're old.
Yeah, well, but if Doogie Howser can perform surgery, then surely someone could know enough about the law to be a lawyer at 14.
Exactly. Doogie Howser LD, or whatever the lawyer
Not how it goes. Doogie Howser Esquire?
Yeah, Doogie Howser. Isn't there a something D? JD? Isn't it JD?
JD is, that's the degree you get when you graduate law school.
Right.
Doogie Howser, JD. Starring JD.
JD!
Hey.
That could be you guys' couple's costume for Halloween.
You know, Doogie Howser, JD. The famous show. You know, they redid Doogie Howser, but now it's a woman and a girl, I guess, really. Normally, you're not supposed to say girl, but I think in this case, she is a girl.
Yeah, she's young.
And I think she lives in Hawaii.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
new
this is what
Doogie
people
Howser
do
show?
when they don't watch sports. Yeah. It's on Disney
Jesus
Plus.
Christ.
Yeah, it's there. I would just talking about people being mean to you, Amir, at your own company.
Yeah.
I've listened to shows you've been on where, because obviously you have your show with Jake, and you guys are equals, I would say. But then you have other shows you're on where it is your employees just roasting you. Do you ever just like think in your head, like, you're like, ha ha ha, that made for good content, but then you go home and you're like, I could literally fire that person if I wanted to?
I don't think that, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that would be cool.
That would be
Just
cool.
like
on air, too.
Getting so offended at a passing joke that you let someone go. How thin-skinned would I be?
But then you have to deny that you're thin-skinned, just being like, I just thought it was inappropriate. It actually goes against our code of conduct that you signed when you started working here. Don't do that. All right, Amir, let's move on to the next segment.
Okay.
Even though this is not segments, the show does have segments. Did you get that from us, actually? No, I should probably ask you
It had
that.
to be. I feel like this podcast and segments are probably the only two with segments.
Probably.
So, like, one of them had to inspire the other.
I can't think of a single other one. When people need help navigating life's biggest decisions, they seek our wise counsel, and we deliver an airtight verdict. It's time to settle this. First, let me ask you, do you miss giving advice? Because you used to have an advice podcast. Well, you know.
No, I don't. We did it for too long. We answered the same questions so many times. I feel like there's only like 9 different kinds of questions. We gave every type of answer. Ultimately, it's just be truthful. Don't be mean to other people. And you can lie if necessary. That was the main area of advice that I gave for 10 years straight. So I don't miss it.
Did you ever do the thing, which I feel like we're already doing it, even though this podcast is only about 2 years old, where I will just start talking about a topic and then it'll end and then I'll go, fuck, that sounded really familiar. I think we've talked about that exact thing before.
Yeah, I don't know if we talked about it on a podcast or off the podcast. You forget which part of your life has been recorded or not.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm giving you another opportunity to give advice, even though you kind of shat all over my thing where I thought you were going to say, yeah, I really miss it. I'm really excited to do this.
I'm excited to do this.
I believe you.
And you're fired.
Hi, guys. My wife and I got into an argument recently about a yard sale we're hosting. She told me very specifically, do not invite friends or family to the yard sale. Her theory is if a friend or family member wants something, we'll have to just give it to them. But I think that if it's a product we can sell, then who cares who it is? We need to sell it. She says even if we do sell it to a friend, we'd have to give it at a huge discount. I believe that all is fair in love and war. I'm not sure which of these scenarios this is, love or war, but whatever. Moving on. This is why Amir doesn't want to do questions anymore, because the emails are so poorly written. And I've edited this one.
I wrote this one.
Okay, now we're back in the voice of the emailer. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against giving a better price, but I'm not willing to give something up just because someone I know wants it. Money is money after all, and we have 2 kids. Help! Travis L. P.S. As a man, I do know I'm always wrong and my wife is always right. Well, not on this show, Travis. I don't believe that. I don't subscribe to this your wife is always right thing. I mean, at your wedding, did anyone do that in the speech? Like, if there's one piece of advice I can give you, always listen, or here's 3 words for happy marriage. You're right, dear.
Yeah, exactly. Happy wife, happy life. This is the last time you'll put your foot down when you smash the wine.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Classic.
These are all absolute classics. Although there is some truth to it. Like, if something is sort of negligible for you and a big deal for her, it's worth just saying, yeah, okay, sure, that's fine.
Yeah,
I
but
rarely dig my heels down and be like, all right, let me fight for this thing, which may or may not. Unless I'm like, it's like 90 to 10 certainty, I'm just giving it up.
Yeah, that's why I have sand in my living room so I could really dig my heels in.
Very good.
I don't like this, like, I just don't like this idea. Like, my girlfriend's wrong all the time, and I'm wrong all the time, and it's just not fair to say she's always right. I'm not willing to give up on her being wrong just because we're married.
Yeah, no, as you shouldn't. Honestly, it's more feminist to treat her like an equal, regardless of gender.
JD, edit that out, please. All right, so...
A woman will be editing this, so...
Oh, okay, perfect.
Impossible.
Do you have any experience with yard sales? Let's start there.
I don't. What's the difference between a yard sale and a garage sale? Just
one's
literally
in your garage,
which thing
one's in your
it's
yard.
coming out of? That's the only difference? They're the same things for sale, just where you're throwing this event?
Mm-hmm. What, did you think a garage sale you have to sell, like, tires or something?
Yeah, things that belong in a garage.
Wrenches.
So you can't have a yard sale in a garage?
I think... What? You can have the spirit.
What?
Oh, suddenly
Answer
this guy
already.
doesn't know what he's talking about anymore. Can't answer the hard questions.
How are you supposed to dig your fucking heels in? You can't answer a simple question like, can you have a garage sale at a yard? Or vice versa.
I guess if your point is, if I said, Amir, come to my yard sale, and then you showed up and it was in my garage, you wouldn't be like, what the hell's going on here?
I have a garage sale.
And since you named this wrong, can I have that pot for free?
Yeah, what kind of friend would be like haggling with you?
I think it's
no friend of mine.
Or do you think it's like air fryer, huh? Wow. Sure would love to have one of those to reheat my fries. I've heard it said.
Can't afford market price, though.
We don't all own a podcast company, so I guess we can't all heat things slightly faster than in the regular oven that comes with the apartment.
Or a toaster oven.
So can I get the fucking air fryer or not, Amir?
No.
Why?
It's for sale.
Okay.
Look at the price tag.
But
$23. That's a really good deal for a Breville. That cost $600 when my brother bought it and never used it and gave it to me a year ago.
But the Breville's in the details, Amir. So do you need it or not?
Nice. I'll take it. That was too good of a pun.
But you're clearly selling it because you don't want it anymore. So, like...
Correct.
I'm your friend. Don't you want me to have well-prepared food?
Yes, you're right. That is my biggest concern today. Baby, I'm so sorry. You were right. I really want my friend to have well-prepared food, and he can't Venmo me $27.
I can buy it fucking retail for that price.
There's no way. There's no way.
2 words. Prime Day.
$27 for an air fryer?
You wouldn't, but it was just...
We will match any price you can find online. Show it to me. But if I sell it while you fucking look it up, then this deal is gone.
Me as your friend coming to your yard or garage sale and asking you if you price match.
With a different yard sale down the street. He's selling a box of trading cards for $5.
I would have price matched, but what we're having is a yard sale, and what they're having is a garage sale, so I don't really think
it's like apples and green apples. These are totally different fruits.
Well, JD, do you have any experience with yard sales, or their lesser-known cousin, the garage sale?
Neither. I've never taken the time to actually put anything out to sell. But
you just give it away, right?
I give it absolutely. A lot of stuff just ends up on the corner, like on my, the curb.
Alert.
Yeah, and then just come get it. But I think Travis, I think that they're both right in a way, right? Like, I think Travis has the right to sell his stuff, and he should invite friends and family. And that's how you weed out the true friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm selling my toaster oven, for $10. If you're a true friend, you'll pay me $10. You're not going to ask me. Obviously, times are tough for me. If I'm selling a toaster oven for $10,
I'll give you 8.
I'll give you 5.
I can 8.
Because Amir just gave me a free air fryer. So I don't really need the toaster oven as bad as you think I do anymore.
And I'm going to flip it and put it on eBay for 19 plus shipping.
Ooh.
And I'll drive it myself, eat the cost, and eat the food that you'll make me.
Oh, that's Everyone wins in that scenario.
Yeah.
But what about inviting friends and family so that someone's actually fucking there to build some buzz, build some hype?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like people are driving by.
People. You do need people. More the merrier.
A crowd
yard
attracts a
sale
crowd.
feels like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I would invite friends and family for that reason. And then also, like, if no one's buying anything, yeah, just give it away. That's the whole point of having the yard sale.
You're getting rid of shit. That's it.
It's
like
hard enough to get rid of shit. Like, my parents have a toaster oven. I'm like, how are you going to get rid of this? Like, you can't just put it in a trash bin.
That's true.
Oh, you got an idea?
No, I would like it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can have the toaster. If you do, then please let me know. I'll give you their address.
I think, I mean, it's basically, Amir, you say you have no experience with the yard sale. Do you have experience with the putting stuff you don't want anymore in a plastic bag and driving it to Goodwill?
Yes, I've done that before. And then they give you a receipt to fill out, and you're like, I'm not going to give this to my accountant.
Yeah.
Let's just say I donated $100 this year. You don't make me do math on what the T-shirts were worth. And I also can't believe that that's the system that the U.S. government wants. Like, you want me to write down, 9 shirts for $31 and I pay less on taxes? Why is this the honor system that we're using?
Yeah.
The first time I did taxes, I legitimately, because I'd always heard my whole life, like, oh, if you're donating to charity, keep the receipt for taxes. And so then I brought in all the receipts, and the guy was like, I don't need these. I was like, well, don't you need to attach them? Isn't this an addendum to my taxes? And they're like, no, you just put down. And I'm like, so then why wouldn't I put down anything? And he's like, because that's fraud.
It's on a fucking house of cards. And like every time you look something up, it's like, yeah, you can write that off. Actually, you can't write that off. Actually, just do it and hope you don't get audited. Actually, you can't do that because if you do get audited, you'll pay the penalty. It's like nobody knows the rules. We're all making it up as we go. I know we're sort of taking a tangent right here, but I'd say the tax system in America, not good.
No, definitely not good. And every tax guy I've gone to, and it's always different because I go to H&R Block, is like, now, I shouldn't be telling you this, but, and then will proceed to tell me what I could do. And then I'm like, so are you recommending I do that? And they're like, that's not what I'm saying. It's like I'm making a deal with a mob boss or something. It's like
they don't want to get in trouble if you get audited, I guess.
They're patting you down to see if you're wearing a wire.
If Jake disappeared, I wouldn't be upset about it. Are you telling me to kill Jake?
Sorry, how much should I write down that I got for this haircut if I have a podcast over Zoom?
Are you saying you can deduct haircuts because that's part of a business expense because you need
Some
to look
people
good?
will say yes and some people will say no.
What do you say?
No real answer. I say guess and check and hope to God you don't get audited because you're only making $29,000 this year instead of something where it raises a red flag like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Hey, that's
are you
why
going to send an IRS agent to my house to be like, in 2019, it says you bought new shoes for a live show. Do you have the receipt for that? $80 at Adidas.com?
Huh. That's why we hide how many Patreon people we have. I don't want the IRS going and being like, wait a second, that's not what you put on the receipt. But did you not? I could have sworn I did look at your Wikipedia before you came on. I don't know, just in case. It said you went to business school, so you know about the tax system and stuff?
I know what it is vaguely, but I know that there's no like hard and fast rule for anything because there's such a gray area for everything because, you know, you can do whatever you want. And if nobody looks into it later, then technically you're fine. So it's like the accountant who told you to write that off is technically right because you didn't get in trouble, but actually, according to the letter of the law, you might be wrong, but who knows unless you get audited, but most people don't get audited. It's all just this weird honor system that I don't fully understand.
You know, actually, now that we're talking about you being in business school, this brings up a question. I hope I don't fuck this up. Someone once told me this was an interview question they got, okay?
Yeah.
Perhaps to be a consultant or something like that. Did you ever want to be a consultant?
No.
No, okay. Sorry, Deloitte. He's not interested.
Wait, Deloitte? I mean, yeah, how many ping pong balls fill up this room? For sure. Let's just think about it.
Yeah, it's exactly that.
A billion?
How many golf balls could you fit on a 747?
383,000.
How many light bulbs are there in New York City?
912.
Why are manhole covers circular?
No reason at all.
No reason.
Point. It was that or a triangle.
All right.
I heard you have to answer fast and defend. They don't care what you say as long as you have fast.
I like your moxie. Okay, so here's the question. I think. Yeah. Stop me if you've heard it. Actually, don't. Just pretend you haven't heard it and answer it. It'll be cool for the podcast. Okay, so you're holding a garage sale.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get caught up on the fact that a garage sale could equally be a yard sale. You have a lamp for sale for $20. Then, coincidentally, your neighbor is also having a yard sale, and you walk by and notice he is selling the very same lamp for $10. Mm-hmm. What do you do?
I get my gun.
Yeah.
I hold up the new garage sale. I steal the lamp. I take the dresser drawer, the TV. It's all mine now because I've stolen it fair and square. The gun isn't loaded. So like it was never actually like a risk of killing anybody. So technically what I did was legal.
And then you sell the gun at the garage sale so someone else's prints are on it.
Yeah. I mean, what are the options there? What do they want you to say? Either you move yours to $10 or you buy theirs and try to sell both for $15 each.
Boom, baby, now you're talking. That's the one.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's the answer. Is you buy his lamp for $10 and then you maybe say, I'll give you the two of them for $30. Who's in the money now?
Wow.
Some people I think say like, I would go and I would like pretend to trip and I would fall and break there. Wow. I said, why are you laughing?
You're hired.
Deloitte knows they've got like a fucking killer on their team when they do that. You're going to be amazing at the company happy hour when it's at a table.
Deloitte.
Why not just simply close their garage?
Oh, interesting. Yeah. One of those clickers.
Yeah,
you can't do that at a yard sale. Yeah.
That's why. That's the difference.
Yeah, you cannot close a yard sale with a garage clicker.
You cannot accidentally close. You can't get trapped inside a yard sale. Okay, that's the difference.
Can I have the job or not?
You do. You answered it quickly enough, and that's all we cared about. You were right from the start.
Correct.
All right, Amir, not everyone is going to agree with everything you say, but sometimes you have to stand alone on the edge of consensus. It's time for Unpopular Opinions. In this segment,
thank you,
I scour the internet for unpopular opinions and I present them to you. You tell me if you think they're good or, correct or whatever, however you want to answer it. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, this one's good. Dying slowly in pain, but having a moment to reflect on your final thoughts is better than dying instantly and not being able to look back on anything. This is a real thinker. So the person is saying like, you always hear people say like, wow, what a dream to be able to die in my sleep. At the tender age of 42.
God, if only there was a pill.
Yeah, people are always saying like, wow, that's the best way to go, is just dying in your sleep. But this person is saying no, because you don't get to look back on anything. You don't get to have a final moment of reflection. So he's saying, I'd rather die a little slower and be in pain, but have a moment to reflect and be like, wow, we sure had some times, didn't we?
Reflection does not matter because you'll be dead soon. And those thoughts will go bye-bye forever, just like the thoughts that you didn't have if you died instantly in your sleep. The key is to reduce the pain. Pain, bad. Reflection, neutral. Overall, I declare no pain, no reflection, greater than pain plus reflection.
Okay, counterpoint. Are you worried that if you died in your sleep...
I'm sorry, I already smashed my gavel.
Yeah, that's done. Next topic.
So what you're doing right now is sort of talking into an empty room, which you're free to do. This is your podcast. But just know that the verdict has been rendered.
You missed your chance to use the gavel and settle this, a court-themed segment. Okay?
Shit. Okay.
We don't even let people bring the gavel to this segment. We make them leave it in the last segment.
Sell it at a yard sale for sure.
Sell it at a yard sale. Why do you have this gavel? Are you a lawyer? No. I'm Doogie Howser, JD.
Howser, JD. I'm Doogie Howser. This is JD.
That's actually a prop from the set of Doogie Howser, JD. It's very rare.
We're sending it to the Smithsonian if nobody buys it for $10 at this yard sale.
What if your neighbor has a gavel from Doogie Howser, JD, and he's selling it for $5?
You take it for $7.50. You sell each for $9. You take $4.50 and buy some cyanide. Die in your sleep. Absolutely carefree. I guess it's bad that their loved ones didn't get to say goodbye because then they live with that. But ultimately, not your problem. You're dead.
No one wants to say goodbye to you as you're going like, ah!
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
fun.
that's
'Cause
what
then
the
they can't
funeral's
cover you.
for.
You're
I was
screaming.
going to ask, are you worried that if you died in your sleep, then you would never know you're dead?
No, I think it's good to never know that you're dead.
Yeah.
Because being dead is bad, and you're avoiding that realization.
Right. Like Bruce Willis in The Sixth Sense. Did he know he was dead?
That's a good question. He must not have, because he was talking to the kid like they were both alive.
How
And I guess
embarrassing
the kid
for him,
was
right?
alive.
The kid was alive. Yeah.
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 But he... Did he know he was dead?
He
If
didn't.
he was, he should have told
Hold
him.
on. Wait a minute. That's a good question.
I don't know.
We didn't know he was dead.
Yeah,
but
we
did
certainly
he
did not
know?
he was dead.
Yeah. Did he go, I was dead the whole time? Yeah. You didn't know? And also, why is it just him? Like, everyone else has died and disappeared, but he survived in this
Right.
weird ghostly state?
No, because he sees it. He says, I see dead people. He sees
The
other...
kid says that.
The kid
Yeah.
says that.
so
Bruce
he
Willis
sees
does not
other
say
dead
it.
people besides Bruce Willis.
But does
So that
Bruce
kid sees
Willis?
every dead person ever, and does Bruce
Yeah.
Willis see dead people too?
That's the question.
Seeing every dead person ever is like seeing no dead people, because you wouldn't be able to look like 2 feet past your face.
Right.
There'd be so many dead people everywhere. Especially if you were in a cemetery.
But especially if you weren't in a cemetery. Because Bruce Willis wasn't in a cemetery.
Yeah, he wasn't. None of those dead people were.
In fact, the only reason dead people go to a cemetery is if they die.
Or to visit a loved one.
Who was not in the cemetery.
Yeah, but they're like, where should we meet? Oh, there's a cemetery. It's usually very
be
uncrowded.
ironic.
People don't go to cemeteries as much as they should.
Correct.
That's just a personal opinion. Okay, I agree. We can move on from this one. No, don't die slowly. Like, the idea that you're going to be dying slowly, pulled apart by 4 horses like in Braveheart. So I'm going to go.
Wow.
Just like my father. You're not going to have time to think about anything. And also, don't people say your life flashes before your eyes? How long do you need for a flash?
I think the whole point of a flash is that it happens instantaneously. Otherwise, it's not a flash.
The point of a flash is for photography in low lighting situations, actually.
Gavel.
Settled. All right, next one. Using both feet when driving an automatic car is superior to just using one
come on.
foot. Okay. Hear him out. Hear him out.
Now they're just trolling.
No.
Hear him out. Left foot for braking, right foot for acceleration. I
We
started
figured,
driving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
Can you imagine?
That's an even more unpopular thing. I sit cross-legged like I have to pee. And I crash into everything.
Unpopular opinion. Drive with both your hands. Right hand on the accelerator.
Ass on the steering wheel. Car wrapped around a fucking tree.
If you do think about it, there's 2 pedals and you have 2 feet, but you have 2 hands, but there's only 1 wheel?
Sorry, you're clearly dead. I'm sorry to bring this up, but I know how you went.
Okay, let's hear this person out. Left foot for braking, right foot for acceleration. I started driving like this because of a leg injury I got from running. It would cause me pain, and my leg would get tight for hours when I repeatedly moved my right foot over to the brake. It doesn't make any sense, but again, hear this person out. After about a week, my left foot had already gotten used to the pressure of the brake pedal, and I can now stop like a normal person instead of like a student driver. I honestly don't know why I haven't been driving like this longer, because it is the better way to drive. I guess we know where you stand, Amir, but what do you think of this unpopular opinion?
I think it is just that, an unpopular opinion, because it's not true. You want to avoid pressing both pedals down at the same time. The only way to do that is if you use one leg.
Mm-hmm. Now, in his defense, if you'd never seen a car before and I showed you one, you were looking at it for the first time, wouldn't you assume that you would drive with both feet?
Yeah.
Settled. I rest my case.
I did a lot of stupid things before people taught me how they actually worked.
So you say that you shouldn't do it because you're trying to avoid pushing them both down at the same time. That's very interesting, because I did a little bit of research, and I'd like you to listen to this from Vox.com. The prohibition against using your left foot for the brake originally came from the fact that all cars had manual transmissions, so the left foot was needed for the clutch. Nowadays, more than 96% of cars sold in the US are automatic. The most often cited reason that drivers of automatic cars should still use one foot is the idea that if you use both feet and accidentally step on both pedals at once, you can do serious damage to your car, putting strain on the torque converter, transmission fluid, and brake fluid. Who knows what any of that is? This was certainly true in the past, but after a series of high-profile, defect-related, unintended acceleration crashes... I mean, Amir, you knew all this, but I'll stop in a second anyway. Automakers...
I wrote this article, by the way.
...widely adopted a new technology that solves the problem. Basically, they're saying the vast majority of new cars, you can press them both down and it won't hurt the car. And they were honestly saying it is totally fine to drive with both feet. Vox.com, Ezra Klein, Amir, Ezra Klein. Because this article was written in 2015. I think he was still there. I don't know if he's changed his opinion in the New York Times, but...
I guess it's fine, but ultimately not better. Why is it better?
Why is it better? Two's better than one?
Gavel.
JD used to drive a manual car.
I still do.
Oh, you still do? So you're... How do you feel about using 2 feet? Do you feel like you should bring it to the automatic?
No. Well, I mean, simply because I'm used to driving a manual transmission, so it would be weird to I wouldn't get used to it. My left foot is for the clutch. That's it.
But I've never driven a manual car. Is the clutch hard to push down? Is it as hard to push down as the accelerator?
Yeah, it's harder. Yeah.
Harder? And you have to use your non-dominant foot for that?
Yeah, but it's not that hard.
Sounds pretty hard. Amir, do you think it would be hard?
I don't know how to drive manual, so just in a vacuum, pushing down your left foot, no, it's not hard. Retraining yourself to drive,
I honestly
hard.
disagree.
Pushing down your left foot is hard?
What are you talking about?
Because no, stamping your left foot is just as easy as stamping your right foot. Sure, I agree. But think of this motion where you're just pushing down. Like, could you play drums with your left foot on the bass pedal? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. But I need my left foot for the hi-hat.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I forgot about there's 2 pedals when you drum. Settled. All right.
I'm glad we got to the bottom of that one.
Well, I'm saying it's fine. I would never do it. Okay, have you ever had the thought when your foot is hovering above both?
Sometimes I've tried it. I'm like,
you have tried
it? Weird. Yeah.
But
not like for like one exchange of gas and brake. Not like for a full drive.
Right. But have you ever forgotten which one is which? Like, not really forget, but like sometimes when my foot is hovering above both, I have this voice in my head that's like, which is it again? Is that just me?
Yeah, it's kind of like if I asked you to close your eyes and recite the bottom line of a keyboard, you probably couldn't, even though you could probably use a keyboard.
Z, X, C, V, B, N, M. Unless, of course, you meant function, control, option, command, spacebar. Is that how you get people? You're like, that's not the bottom line.
And that's the bottom line.
All right, last unpopular opinion. Public urination is completely fine. Again, let's hear this person out. Now, obviously you can't just whip it out on Main Street, but I'm talking about like peeing behind a dumpster.
Second Ave.
I'm talking about peeing behind a dumpster when nobody's around. That should be perfectly legal. Think about any other animal. They piss and shit anywhere they please. All I'm asking is that we can pee where nobody is looking. Public restrooms aren't always available. I don't want to say this guy has a point, but I feel like he has at least 9% of a point.
This one is the one I agree with the most, though still don't agree with. Like, there are times where I really have to pee, and I, like, walk into a restaurant, like, sorry, it's for, like, customers only. I'm like, okay, so the alternative is for me to piss my pants. Like,
and you say that
the
to
law? Where I'm like, do you want me to just piss and shit myself, or can I use your mat? Like, if I just had to, like, piss, and, like, you're not letting me use it, like, where am I supposed to go? At a certain point, you almost have to do it outside.
Yeah.
But to legalize it would make too much piss. Everyone would take advantage of it. I think it's good that we make the law to say no, and then at extreme examples, somebody can, quote, break the law and do that.
Okay, could I propose to you I really had to go exemption card? It's like a punch card, and if you really truly have to go and you cannot get to a public restroom or into a restaurant because they're being dicks and not letting you pee there, and a cop catches you, you hand him the punch card and is like, he clicks one off.
Yeah, I think you could do 10 public pees per year, guilt and penalty free. I have a friend,
10?
shout out Jake, pisses in a bottle while he drives.
Wow.
On the reg.
Really? How wide is like a Nalgene or like a...
No, it's a thin little
Smart
shampoo
water
bottle. Yeah. It's the equivalent of a straw in a thin beaker. No, he uses a Gatorade.
Okay, that is
Gatorade
bigger
bottle.
it's bigger than a water bottle hole.
Yeah, exactly. Bigger than a hole, uses it to piss, and then just dumps it out when he gets to his destination.
Wow.
But he lives in New York, doesn't he? So is he on the subway doing this?
Yeah, or taking a ride to see his family or a road trip somewhere. Yeah, he'll often piss in a bottle.
I mean,
So I guess you could have a bottle and piss in it.
as a lifelong Angelino, which I believe you are, the traffic, we hear about the traffic. Have you ever contemplated this? Because I feel like if there's a city to do it, this is it.
Yeah, I've had to pee really, really, really bad, and I pull over and find a restaurant or a hotel ideally. But I've never gone to the lengths of I need a bottle in my car because that's how often and urgent I need to pee.
But that's a good point. When you stop on the highway, like if you really have to go and there's no rest area, and you pee on the side of the road, no one gives a shit.
Yeah, because
No.
nobody's around. It's a field. It's the side of the road.
So what is freaking people out? Is it the chance they're going to see the penis and the pee coming out of it? Or is it the smell? Or is it
Well,
think
it's
it's the
hygiene?
smell
And don't tell me
and
it's
the
all of the
idea.
above, because you got to pick one.
it's mainly the smell, Amir. You're
I
right.
think it's the smell.
Yeah.
I think it's the
Yeah,
smell.
especially if everybody did it.
The worst smelling thing in Los Angeles is the stairwell in a parking lot because people pee in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
You don't
So-
want the entire city to smell like that.
But what? So pee in someone's lawn then? I mean, if you had to, that'd be better for all because then it would get sopped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's got it. I mean, if we're not going to allow peeing in public, restaurants and bars, it should be illegal for them to say
say no.
bathroom for customers only.
That's correct.
Yeah. So.
I agree with that stance.
And that's Doogie Howser's first case.
Did it.
All right, Amir, there's only one thing left to do, and that's play subjective trivia. Subjective trivia, it's just like regular trivia, except only I know the answer, but today it's a little different because it's a competition. That competition is between Amir and JD. That's right, JD, perk up for a second.
Shit. Oh,
You're involved
shit.
in
That's
this.
exciting.
So, one of the segments you do on Segments, the podcast where there are many segments, is
Correct.
your co-host will ask ChatGPT to write a quiz about you.
Yeah.
And you would think that it would be very easy to answer that quiz because it's about you, but because ChatGPT makes things up or just gets things plain wrong, the answers end up being pretty subjective, which is how I'm
Correct.
justifying using it in this segment here. So as a tribute to you and your podcast segments, Amir, today's
Thank
quiz, well, first of all, I guess as a tribute, I'm stealing your idea, but this quiz is about Jason Doyle, the podcast producer.
Okay.
So, JD, it's you versus Amir. JD, you would think you have an advantage, but as Amir knows from already playing this with different questions, you might not have an advantage. You might know too much.
These
to
are
answer
questions about me?
I asked ChatGPT to write questions about Jason Doyle. I did have to specify the podcast producer.
Okay, not the
'Cause you're not-
Australian motorcycle king.
Motorcycle.
There's a motocross, Australian motocross
Oh, I didn't know that.
racer.
No.
Who's
Well,
Jason
that's why all these questions are about Harley Davidsons.
Yeah.
Knew it.
All right. First question. Amir, do you want to answer first or second? Do you feel like either one gives... Because maybe that you have a disadvantage because these questions are not about you.
Yeah. I'll go second.
Okay, perfect. What personal interest drew Jason Doyle into producing basketball podcasts like The Starters and No Dunks? A, love for storytelling. B, passion for basketball. C, interest in sound design. Or D, a desire to break into sports media. JD, what is the answer?
Okay, well, it's not B or D. What's A again?
Love of storytelling. C is interest in sound design.
Yeah, it's probably going to be that one.
Interest in sound design?
C, yeah.
Okay, Amir, what do you think the answer is?
I think ChatGPT just put the two basketball questions and answers together and thought that was the true reason. So I'll guess the basketball one B.
Yeah.
Yep, Amir is correct. Already beating
Okay,
JD.
all right. I know how to work the system.
Okay.
To beat the machine, you must think like the machine.
Right.
Next question. Doyle has worked with the same team of co-hosts for several years. How does he describe their dynamic? A, a creative challenge. B, a close-knit family. C, a professional relationship. Or D, a mix of fun and chaos.
I've never described the relationship before, so
Well,
this is
computer thinks you have.
You're gonna have to repeat them. Sorry.
Creative challenge,
Yeah.
close-knit family,
Yeah.
professional relationship, or mix of fun and chaos.
ChatGPT, I think, is gonna go fun and chaos.
Okay, Amir, what do you think?
Professional challenge.
Creative challenge or professional relationship? You just mix them up. into
Professional
two.
relationship, yeah.
Okay, neither of you got that one. It was a close-knit family, which I think is the
Yeah.
actual
Oh.
closest
Yeah,
answer.
that's nice.
It is absolutely.
Computer
That's
loves love. Jason has credited his podcasting success to which of the following personal traits? A, attention to detail. B, ability to lead. C, sense of humor. Or D, work ethic.
Oh God.
Attention to detail, ability to lead, sense of humor, work ethic.
Probably work ethic is what ChatGPT will say.
Okay.
Sense of humor is well. Sorry. Go ahead, Amir.
I gotta guess attention to detail.
Boom, Amir's up 2-0.
Nice. You're killing it.
Sorry, I should say that ChatGPT is based on my brain.
Oh,
yeah.
so when I type in, you are at the computer all day and you just write back to me?
No, they've already downloaded my mind. So
Oh.
I'm in it. Yeah, I am the Matrix.
Oh, sick. All right, 2 more questions, JD, so you have a chance to catch up. What is one personal philosophy Jason Doyle follows when creating content? A, always prioritize the audience. B, perfection is overrated, just get started. C, quality over quantity. D, collaborate with as many voices as possible. Amir, what's your personal philosophy when creating content? Prioritize the audience? Perfection is overrated?
I mean, those are all sound fine, really.
Yeah.
Those are all kind of good general advice.
Yeah.
But which one would I think ChatGPT thinks is the best one? What was that last one again? It was very
Quality
vague.
over quantity or collaborate with as many voices as possible.
This one's a complete guess to me, but I'll guess as many voices as possible.
Okay, JD.
Okay. Screw perfection. Get to it.
Oh, he's on the board, folks.
Nice.
All right.
Okay. Wow, I didn't think about what would happen if it was tied 2-2. We don't have a tiebreaker.
Okay.
Well, this can be worth 1.5.
God, that's why this guy's the king of podcasting. For 1.5 points, which personal milestone did Jason Doyle celebrate during his time producing the starters? A, his 10-year anniversary in media. B, his first international podcast tour. C, his marriage. Or D, becoming a father.
Literally 3 of the 4.
What
So
international
maybe guess
podcast
the one that
tour?
wasn't.
Well, we went on an international tour when we lived in Canada and we came to the
It
United
says
States.
specifically, what personal milestone did Jason Doyle celebrate during his time producing the starters?
Oh, the starters.
ChatGPT
the
might not know this, but
starters.
that was 2013 till it was tragically cut off in 2019 due to a merger between AT&T and Time Warner.
Okay, so that means, not married, not kid, not international tour. What was the other one?
10-year anniversary.
10-year
media?
anniversary. That's the one.
Okay, Amir, what do you think?
International tour feels specific and incorrect enough to go with as the correct answer. Give me international tour.
Well, you were both incorrect, but Amir still wins.
Wow.
It's D, becoming a father, but you were already a father twice
was.
before the starters ever even started.
That's true. That's true.
Unless this is the way you find out, we all find out that you've had an illegitimate child.
The algorithm knows before anybody.
I typed back, I was like, wait, do you mean that he had another child and didn't tell us? Yes, he did. He is lying to you. His whole relationship is built on a web
House
of
of
lies. I was about to
lies.
say house of lies. But
It's the House of Cards.
House of cards.
That kind of thing happens a lot at Turner, so I wouldn't be surprised either.
Amir, since you won, you could tell people where to find you. And your bevy
Okay,
of
great.
podcasts.
Yeah, there's an Instagram account with my name on it, Amir. There's headgum.com, which has all of our podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And Wikipedia ultimately has some pretty interesting information, according to you. So you can always start there.
It says your biggest regret is that you never got to go to Jewish summer camp. That's a true thing on Wikipedia.
I must have said that in a YouTube video once. So yes. I don't know if it's my biggest regret, but it is one of my regrets.
It's top 3 at least.
Oh, minimal.
And not buying and selling Bitcoin at the height of the pandemic.
Those are my 2 biggest regrets, equally so.
So whenever anyone brings up the GameStop thing, I literally in my head go, fuck, I should have gotten in on that. First of all, did not know it was happening. B, do not know anything about stocks. C, was not on Reddit at the time. A lot of things working against me, but I still am angry that I wasn't in on the whole GameStop thing.
It was possible for you. You just decided not to do any of the things that would have led you to do it.
Well, we didn't all go to business school, Amir. We don't all have comfort with the S&P.
Thank you.
500 of them, if you ask me. All right, Amir, thanks so much for coming on. You can check us out, patreon.com/isthisgood. Email us at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. And Amir, since you came on, I'll give you a tip. You got to update AmirBlumenfeld.com.
Good
Have you
call.
seen that
it's
website recently?
It's like an old resume.
There's not even like a mention of, there's not the word podcasting even on it.
Yeah, it was like built in 2011. I should just have it forward to Headgum or something.
Well, but isn't Squarespace one of your sponsors?
Yeah, but
And
I didn't even use Squarespace. I think like my brother designed it. I don't even like know what the deal. I can only forward it because I don't know where it's hosted or anything.
Oh, I see. You couldn't even go in and
change anything.
tinker,
I think.
even if you wanted to.
Yeah, I don't know where it's being hosted.
We'll just start from scratch, and that'll be a great thing to talk about in your next Squarespace ad. I was recently on a podcast where I was publicly shamed for having a shitty website.
Really, I should not have a website at all. Who uses websites anyway?
Yeah, fair.
People that want their portfolios up there.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks. I needed to hear that.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Amir for coming on. For everyone, I'm Matt Austin, and this was good. We'll see you soon.